All right, guys. Good evening, everybody. I'm going to go over a few different things here in regards to the upcoming week ahead. Welcome to Sunday Night Weekly. If you're new here, we do this every single week. Sunday evenings, usually. Sometimes they're on Saturdays or Mondays, depending on schedule, so on and so forth. But otherwise, Sunday evenings are usually the times that we do these. So we're going to talk about the upcoming week ahead, what we can expect, as well as the long-term pattern, what we can be looking at in the week 2, week 3 time frames. So, with that being said, the main focus has been on an active pattern coming up. We're going to start there. But first, let's go ahead and take a peek at our temperatures. A beautiful day across the state today. Upper 70s. We touched 80 over here in southeast Michigan. I had 80.5 on my at home weather station today in Lenawee County. So we did touch 80 in a couple places here across the state, but otherwise mid to upper 70s was the norm. Up in the UP, touched the mid 60s, northern Michigan as well. Repeat kind of weather the next couple of days here. We're going to have a resurgence back into the upper 60s, low 70s tomorrow for Monday. Then for Tuesday, we see a good resurgence again, back of warmth. Probably going to be in the low 70s again, but if not, upper 60s are the normal. Wednesday as well, we're going to see a cool down overnight Tuesday, but into Wednesday, it's going to be kind of borderline split the state. North is cold, south is warm. And the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame is the time frame we're going to be zoning in here for potential rain storms here. We'll get into that here in a second. But going past the Wednesday standpoint or the Wednesday time frame, go ahead and take a peek at the GFS model here. For our temperatures here. It's going to cool off as we head into the later parts of the late week. So here's Thursday. We're in the 40s and 50s. Then here comes some cooler temperatures for the weekend. The UP getting back into the 30s, potentially some freezes up there as well. Into Friday, we're going to have probably upper 40s, low 50s. And then into the weekend here, we see a very interesting cool down here for Saturday in the 40s, perhaps 30s as well. But then for the weekend, we kind of surge back into the 50s or so at this point in time. The overall pattern is going to be warm, 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 a little bit of a cool down, a little bit of a warm up, and then back to a little bit of a cool down here. The main concern this week is going to be one thing in particular, and that's going to be a potential. The word potential is important here. Potential severe threat that could materialize on Wednesday in particular. Now, we looked a couple days ago. We had models indicating about 4 or 5 continuous days across the USA here of continuous severe weather. That is likely the case. Today is the first day in Ohio and Pennsylvania. Tomorrow we have a threat out in Oklahoma. Tuesday there is a threat to our west in Illinois, Iowa, and Missouri. And then Wednesday there's a threat currently off to our south. The main thing we're kind of watching is how far north that low pressure system is going to track. Now we're going to go back here to the NAM model. We can actually see this low pressure taking shape here as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday here. The center of it comes into focus here out in Nebraska on the Tuesday morning time frame. The center of the low pressure is right here. The warm front is to our south here. We can see it draped across Iowa, North Illinois, North Indiana, back through central Ohio here. How far is that warm front going to lift north? This point in time, we do have reason to believe it's going to stall roughly right around the central Michigan area, but the low pressure swings that warm front across from that cold front back here to the south. The main focus for Tuesday is going to be further to our west, more so in Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri. But in fact, I can actually show you guys the severe risk areas to get a better idea, so you guys kind of know what we're talking about here. Let me go ahead and get this up real quick here for you guys. But as that low pressure moves into the moves to the east, should I say, onto the Wednesday time frame. Let's go ahead and get this region. There we go. So here's your threat today in Ohio. Not going to be a issue for us. Here is Monday's threat out here on the plains. That low pressure continues eastward. Here is your threat for Tuesday here. So we're seeing Berrien County is knocking on the door of that marginal risk for Tuesday, but the main focus is going to be over in that orange enhanced risk area out in Iowa and Missouri and around that in the slight risk. So most of Illinois, parts of Indiana, South Wisconsin getting in on the action here, but us in Michigan, likely not going to be talking about severe weather unless it's going to be later at night. That's a possibility that we could be added a little bit later on, but right now it doesn't look to be the case, as most of the instability at the nighttime hours with the storms moving eastward would arrive in our area roughly probably midnight to 4 a.m. Likely not going to have the instability needed to get storms up and going. But Wednesday is another story here. The risk is on a day 4 risk. So we're not going to see the marginal or the slight or the whole entire coloration yet. We'll get that tomorrow morning, or actually tonight, really, when they update this to a day 3 outlook. But overall, watch this low pressure swing that warm front a little bit further north here. And that warm front's draped across central Michigan again. But the thing that we're kind of watching is the ingredients that come together: wind shear, instability, stuff like that. It's at this point in time, here is Tuesday. We're seeing that out there in Iowa, Missouri. Here comes Wednesday, though. We see it kind of drift further north here, and then it kind of just stalls at the border. But it does include south of 94 into a little bit of an area to be more so concerned about. I don't know if I buy that at this point. I think that low pressure does lift a little bit further north than that. We'll have to watch that closely. But models right now are hinting at a severe threat at this point in time for a large portion of Michigan. It may mainly be south of us in Indiana and Illinois for the Wednesday timeframe. That's going to be the main concern to watch for the week. Otherwise, it's going to be a pleasant week. We talk about precipitation chances. Go ahead and look at this really quickly here. Into the Tuesday morning time frame, you have some rain that could be in the area here in the Tuesday, and also Tuesday night, especially into early Wednesday morning, which could also kind of play into a severe threat Wednesday as well. If rain can overturn the atmosphere, stuff like that comes together, lower the severe threat. So right now, there's a lot of questions still to be answered, but overall, precipitation, rain more than likely, probably some storms as well, filling in the region here Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. That's going to move off, and then our next chance of precipitation is going to be for the weekend area, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A low chance for a passing shower for right now. But then the bigger picture here on a long-term basis is some cool temperatures coming back to the region. Looking at our Climate Prediction Center, we do have a new let's go ahead and put this back here to the 6 to 10 days. So we do have some indication. This is a temperature graph here from the Climate Prediction Center. Areas in blue there, which is most of Michigan, is going to be below average temperatures. We are likely going to see a return into the 40s, perhaps maybe some hard freezes overnight in the picture here. It doesn't look to last too long because we just got the new 8 to 14 day outlook. I did not see this until now, but the new 8 to 14 day, go back to the 8 to 14 day, here we go, is putting us right back into the above average gradient here for the late April timeframe. So between April 20th and 24th is going to be your cool down. After that point, looks to warm back up here. I have not dived into the very last part of April, but I can tell you that looking at the very first week, we'll say April 20th to 25th or so, does look to be kind of cooler on the cooler side of things. So a nice change of pace here. We're kind of getting that little bit of a taste of spring, maybe some summer in there as well, depending on what your taste of summer is. But for right now, enjoy the warmth, enjoy the next couple of days of warmer temperatures, but do pay attention to future outlooks for particularly Wednesday, perhaps Tuesday night as well, for a chance for some storms, which could be severe. Although right now our confidence is not very high, if not anything at all. It's just gonna be something to watch here as we move into the middle part of this week. Does anybody have any questions for me at this point? I'll go ahead and take some questions. Otherwise, that's all I got to share with you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys are going to head out, be free or have a good night for one, but also feel free to hit that like button for us. We appreciate that. It helps us out significantly in terms of algorithm and stuff like that. But otherwise, that's all I got to share with you guys. So there could be a marginal or slight risk for Wednesday. Andrew, it is at this point a possibility for extreme South Michigan, but at this point, confidence is very, very low. This could shift easily further south, or it could shift further north. We'll let you guys know. We'll have an update tomorrow morning for you guys if anything changes. If there's anything worth noting, we will tell you guys. Do you think there'll be a risk for Flint? No, I don't think it's going to get up that high, up that far north. If there's going to be any risk for Wednesday, it'll likely be tied probably closer to I-94, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Jackson, Detroit areas. But again, that's a extremely low confidence at this point. But again, if that changes, we'll let you guys know as soon as we do. No problem, Angelina. It is a beautiful day outside, Deborah. I'm looking at my temperature gauge. It says 78.8. Humidity is 40%. Winds are about 5 miles an hour. It is beautiful. This is my type of weather. What time does the SPC Outlook update? It depends on what day. Day 1 comes out at 2 a.m. Don't quote me on these are approximate times. I believe day 2 comes out at 2 a.m. as well. Day 3, I believe, is 3 a.m. or 3:30. And then the day 4 through 8 comes out closer to 4 a.m. So it's going to be while you guys are sleeping. Now, there's no risk at this point for anywhere in Michigan. It's just something we're going to watch here for Wednesday, perhaps Tuesday night as well, but mainly going to be Wednesday for this point in time. But Tuesday night could be something to watch as well if it continues to speed up or if it slows down a little bit. We'll have to watch that. What's up, Isaac? Is there a chance instability gets further north on Wednesday? That's kind of my thought, Joey. Just judging by how it's looking on models, I think they're underplaying the northward extent of the warm front, but also the return of moisture and stuff like that. So um, when you forecast this far in advance, you got to keep in mind that with these systems, we have back-to-back days of severe weather: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday further south. But the Tuesday, Wednesday timeframe for us here, what happens on Tuesday is going to affect what happens on Wednesday. We could have outflow boundaries, which could shift the or could stall warm fronts from advancing north. We have a lot of things that can happen on Tuesday that will affect Wednesday. So we really can't be too sure at this point. But this year, how it's trended and also how my interpretation of the models and data that we're looking at, I do think there's a chance this could get shifted a little bit further north for Wednesday. But again, if something happens for Tuesday storms, like an outflow boundary comes out, it shifts everything south, there goes our threat. There's a lot of things that are going to happen and come into clearer focus as we get closer to that time frame. A nice non-severe photogenic thunderstorm would be good. I agree, Kevin. For me, it's not about tornadoes. It's not about seeing tornadoes. It's about just enjoying the storm and the beauty of nature. Seeing a tornado, cool. Obviously, they're really cool to see. Don't want to see damage, of course, but just a good thunderstorm at night would be good too. Some good lightning, nice rain. That'd be kind of cool. Any other questions, guys? I appreciate everybody hopping on here with us. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Would appreciate that. Kyle says, looking forward to many more months of thunderstorm chances ahead. Love summer season. I'm with you on that one. If summer could happen without the heat, that'd be great. I don't tolerate heat very well. If you guys ever hear like wind on my microphone, it's because I actually do have a fan with me blowing on me. I can't stand being hot. I gotta be cool. I missed the start. Are we looking at storms all week or rain and Wednesday storms? So Sarah, the main time frame for rain is going to be Tuesday night into Wednesday. The main time frame for any type of storm would be the exact same time frame, Tuesday night, but more so specifically on Wednesday. The further south you go at this point in time, there does appear to be a better chance for storms. Right now, our confidence is extremely low, given that these models aren't really handling it too well, but also a lot of things go into detail with these setups, how they kind of play out. So we'll have to watch Wednesday in particular. Right now, models have the risk south of us, but I personally kind of feel like it's going to be drifting a bit further north as we get closer. We'll have to kind of wait and see about that, though. But there's going to be severe weather in Michigan. It's going to be probably in the southern part of the state and probably Tuesday night into the Wednesday time frame. What's up, Nathan? What you thinking about the severe weather threat? There is currently no threat for Michigan. It's just something we're watching at this point. As a new Skywarn spotter, what should I expect for reporting storms? I have not really reported much. Okay, so you are a new Skywarn spotter. Did they give you? They should have given you a spotter number to call in directly to the National Weather Service. Let me know if you have that. But that is what you go about reporting. They should have also covered what to report as well. But otherwise, if you're chasing or storm spotting, report rotating wall clouds, funnel clouds, tornadoes, reporting, rain or hail or anything like that. Report the hail size, particularly with a ruler. so you guys can measure it and stuff like that. Don't call them for shelf clouds. Don't call them for nothing that's rotating, stuff like that. Don't call them for that. They hear a lot of people calling and rotating shelf clouds. Shelf clouds do not rotate. It's annoying. Trust us. It's annoying. I'm surprised we have no 15% risk. The ingredients. Yeah. So a quick overlay here of why we're not seeing any risk in Michigan is basically our instability overlap with wind shear. And we're going to basically look at this one model ingredient here. We see today we actually had a decent environment in Southeast Michigan. We did have a pretty good environment, but the atmosphere today was capped. So storms couldn't go up and form. And that's the case across Illinois and Indiana as well. But the atmosphere over here in East Ohio and Pennsylvania is uncapped right now. That's why we're seeing severe storms. So there was a chance today, but the cap was just too strong, basically. As we get into the Monday time frame, we see that risk out there develop in the plains. There's your coloration out there. And then also as it moves into Tuesday, there's your risk for Tuesday. There's your warm front from Illinois, Indiana, back in Ohio. Wednesday is a time frame we're kind of watching here, but watch what happens with this coloration. It kind of bumps up into Wisconsin, and then it comes over to Michigan and just kind of skimps across the very south part of the state. So that's going to be the reason we're not seeing that severe threat at this point in time, because models have better ingredients to our south. If this comes back further north, which is a possibility it could, we could be added to that risk a little bit later on. Caden, I know they don't give IDs out, but do they give you like a phone number to call? Tina, at this point, there currently is technically no severe risk. It's just something we're going to be watching as we move closer to Wednesday. If there's going to be severe weather, it's going to be on Wednesday, more than likely. They didn't give you a number to call. Interesting. Okay. Feel free to message the page here, and we'll go ahead and message you that number. And I can also give you some more information in the DMs about how to report, what to report, stuff like that. Do you think the cap is going to break before the system gets to Michigan? The cap is something that's not like a daily basis here. It's not a whole system-wide thing. It's just going to depend on the day, how much warm air we have in the atmosphere, stuff like that. So I can't really tell you specifics on if the cap is going to break, if there's going to be a cap at all for this risk. I can tell you there's a cap for tomorrow's risk. It's been heavily talked about on Twitter about how the cap may not break tomorrow for Oklahoma, but we'll likely see more details on that coming out with the next couple of model runs. Models have changed for a couple days ago. Yes, Tina, they have in terms of where they're going to put the severe threat, but that's also expected. All we had to highlight was an active pattern coming up. We really didn't have any confidence on where exactly it was going to happen, just somewhere in the region. And at this point in time, it's going to be west, east, and south of us, which is great news for us here in Michigan. But again, that's how weather forecasting goes. We look at patterns, active pattern definitely upcoming. We're seeing that start today. But with terms of placement, stuff like that, that did shift. Nothing Tuesday night in South Michigan. Possibly, Brad. It's a possibility. At this point, it's a low possibility, though. It's going to depend on how much instability is going to stick around into early Wednesday morning there for those storms. So it's a possibility we can get a continuation of some sort of risk, which is why I've been saying Tuesday night into Wednesday is a better severe risk. But at this point in time, I think Wednesday is going to be the higher risk overall. But again, I'm not going to say there's not going to be a risk here for Tuesday night just yet. Adam, we're likely going to have some type of storm system, or at least storm, should I say, in the southern part of the state at the very least. We're more so talking about severe weather. So I do think Tuesday night is going to have some storm potential for us here in Michigan, but it may just be just general thunderstorms with nice rain, which honestly is a good change of pace. We need that. We don't want to see severe weather all the time here in Michigan, if any at all, honestly. But when it does happen, that is what we are here for. What am I expecting for tomorrow's outlooks from the SPC? In terms of Wednesday, I'm assuming, Tina? If anything, I could see them adding Southwest Michigan more so into the risk for Tuesday night. Your current risk is actually, let's go ahead and take a Michigan look at this. We can actually zoom way in here. So that's your risk for Tuesday night. We could see that get extended a little bit further to the east here, say Kalamazoo, Coldwater areas. Although I personally don't see that right now, but they may do that just kind of, covering the basics here, just in case that risk does continue eastward with time. But Marion County, though, is included in that risk there. So we do have technically a risk in the state, but I wouldn't really call that much of any type of risk at all because it's not even half a county. Population's probably close to 5,000 people down there, if that. All right, guys, I've been on here for about 25 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and hop off here. I would not expect a risk in Southeast Michigan for Tuesday night, Tina. Further east you go, the less instability. But for Wednesday, that is a possibility for Southeast Michigan. But at this point, like I said, low confidence. We'll have more information coming days for that. So we'll have updates on the page if anything changes tomorrow morning. But otherwise, that's all I got to share with you guys tonight. My Twitter is blowing up. What's happening? Okay, nothing. Cool. All right, with that being said, I'm going to hop off here. You guys have a good week. Enjoy the next couple of days of nice weather. Pay attention for Tuesday night into Wednesday. Potential for some storms that could be severe. Low confidence. Currently no risk, but we could see one develop if things trend the right way. We'll cross our fingers and hope they don't trend that way. With that being said, though, I'll be off here. You guys enjoy your night. Have a cookout for me. Eat some burgers, whatever your choice of food is. Have a good night, guys.